forget core drilling and on Grimes Road.
Second.
Discussion. How do you vote?
Ed,
Yeah.
Doug,
Yes.
Mike,
Yeah.
Kathy?
Yes.
I vote yes.
All right, let's go on. Which actually, is it open, not yet?
Not yet, no.
I don't know. The letter to range. We discussed it at the last two meetings, you were gonna move the barricades, put up one-way traffic signs.
Yeah, we gotta, yeah.
We have to change the bonds with range first.
Why haven't you did it?
The letter
2
went
months,
out,
3 months, 4 months?
the letter went out this week.
It
last
hasn't
week.
been 3 months.
2 months ago, I brought it up, you were gonna make it one lane.
Yeah,
Last month, last meeting, brought it up again, and you said you're still gonna do it.
we had to get the engineer to sign off and all that. Send letters out to people.
We've notified, and
Yeah.
range has been notified.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they
Never
was-
received
yeah, they
anything in
was-
writing, but I've had verbal conversation with, there was a letter drafted.
And what's their response?
They're waiting for the letter, sir.
Oh, they haven't gotten a
They
letter.
haven't given us a response yet.
They've gotten a letter, they have not
The
gotten.
letter simply said, no, I mailed the letter out, I don't know that they've received it yet. The letter simply states that the permits have to either be pulled or modified because of what the engineer found. And that we were open to conversation on either, but that they could not haul as of receipt of the letter. I think by law, they need 5 days.
What we gotta do to get the road open?
To get the road open? Is it capable of being, I thought,
I thought we was capable of being opened.
It is one way. To light trucks, no
Yeah.
heavy trucks.
One, yeah.
Yeah,
well, we did it,
You say it's open?
we did it on
Said it is
November 26th.
capable.
On November
of being
26th, Mr.
Right, I
Shingle
looked
motion
twice,
to
it's still not
notify,
open.
motion to notify Range Resources that a portion of Grimes Road is being restricted for a certain length of the road to be dictated by the chief, and to amend the current permit and related road bond accordingly, and also notify Ayers Up and Blackfoot Trucking. Mr. Teagarden seconded.
We should be able to move forward. We tell them what it's gonna be.
but you should do.
Yeah, well, they're not gonna tell us.
Right. Steve,
Yes.
what type of signs do you plan to put by the restricted area?
There'd be no trucks. There'd be a stop sign on it either end.
Do we have no signs?
Yes,
What keep
We
it?
using those flashing ones like we did at the slip at the.
yes, those are the ones that I intend to put up there.
So the board's aware, it's a 10-ton road. Unless we have a new study done, it's 10-ton. And anything, I mean, they're allowed to run it if they have a permit.
If they have a permit in the bond to do
Yeah,
it.
if they have, yeah.
But if they don't, they can't.
So that's why that's kind of why I think
We
everybody
pulled
was
the
just
permit.
waiting to, right, we're
Or
in the
pulled the
process.
existing permit.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It is pulled.
We've allowed them the option, not until we have confirmation upon that they've received the letter.
We said it's certified.
Yes, sir.
We don't have to part back.
No, sir.
How, would a motion be upon receipt of the confirmation that they got the mail or refused the mail, would proceed with getting that lane open?
Motion, that would be the correct motion. A motion to modify Grimes Road.
But we already did that.
We already did.
We did that last.
Well, but we haven't, you want to do it upon receipt, is that what you're
Yeah,
doing?
let's get that road open.
Upon receipt, okay, so the motion will be upon receipt of certified mail, upon receipt of a certified mail receipt / unclaimed, the road is to be, the permit is to be modified, correct?
Yes. And then, when that happens, it's communicated to Steve, and weather permitting, get it done.
So that's your motion then?
Yes.
Upon certified receipt, the permit is to be.
Or refusal, yeah.
Or
Okay,
slash
or-
unclaimed, whatever you want to do.
We have enough barriers to do it the way the engineer and I discussed.
Okay.
It won't be a solid barrier. There's a portion of the road in between the two slips that are still, it's still there. We're gonna barrel it off, cone it off. So it's one single lane for the entire distance.
Do we need the clamp?
We need that clamp.
Okay, so we
To do
can't
it.
open the road anyway. We need a clamp to pick up the Jersey barriers, put them in place.
We'll get the clamp. The clamp we used last time we borrowed, it's not available right now.
Should we post
We
some
need to put- we need
signage
to
that
put-
excludes local delivery? Is there any way we get some, because that would be exempt?
If
If
we
the
have,
Road
if,
closed, travel at your own risk.
if we have to, but I don't see why local delivery can't go in from either end. There's nothing in
They
that
can,
center
but
section.
there's nothing to enforce either.
I don't-
Is there a need to use Grimes Road in that area? I mean, by any vehicle, any oversized vehicles? Steve?
No, that's what I mean. They can go around either way. They can take 231 around or come in on the 40 end. There's nothing in that section.
Because right now with the slip, it's prone to causing more damage.
Correct.
Steve, where exactly is that at?
In the woods past
I don't-
Campsies.
Yeah, I don't know, I actually talked with recently talked with someone who was on that road, and I don't know if it's something that says local delivery would work or not, because apparently people's GPS is sending them that way.
Sure.
Oh, I'm sure. It's a shortcut. It's a shortcut.
Yeah, because there were some trucks on that road that shouldn't have been on that road, and they turned around at Pete's. And created a little.
Made a mess
Yeah.
there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And there's no signs at the end of the road saying it's closed. You have to go all the way to the middle of the road to find out it's closed.
You should have a marker.
There's actually a good place to turn around on either end if you go in.
Yeah, there's signage.
Yeah,
There's no problem with turning around, but just the idea of driving down there and finding out the road's closed.
yeah.
Can't get through.
Problem being without signage excluding local delivery,
Yeah,
the police have no way
To enforce
to
it.
enforce
yeah.
whether they're going through or not.
We'll,
So-
we'll put up whatever we have to put up legally, we'll put up. I don't have a problem with that. John, you can direct me with that, can't you?
Yes, sir.
And honestly, some people were just ornery like me and would drive around the dang sign anyway,
Yeah.
so it doesn't matter.
Or move my sign.
Yeah, or move your sign. But you might chase them down.
I did.
Yeah, I still have that motion.
All right, what's the motion?
Upon certified mail receipt or unclaimed, the permit is to be modified.
Doug made that motion? You made the motion?
Yes, that's.
Do
the
we have a
motion.
second?
I'll second the motion.
How do you vote?
Doug,
Yes.
I vote yes. Kathy,
No.
Mike,
Yeah.
Ed.
What's the motion? Just that we're gonna do it.
Modify the permit.
Yeah.
Modify their permit.
Okay.
Did you say yes?
Yes. All right. That passed.
Yes.
We're in new business, right? We already took care of number one, advertise CPA to perform the 2019 budget per township code. Advertise 30 days before appointment is made.
So when I was making the calendar for the next year from the PSAT calendar, if we want to appoint the CPA again to do the audit, it has to be advertised 30 days before you make the appointment.
And I think we've got 3 interested auditors that will do a good job for us. I don't, it's gonna cost somewhere probably between $6,000 and $12,000, but who knows how much it's gonna be if we did it with CPA.
Oh, you're talking the elected.
I think we should use our elected auditors. If it doesn't, find out it don't work, then the next following year you do something different. They've been trained and and Marcy's been doing it for several years.
I would like to use the CPA at least for another year with the changes to the QuickBooks. That's
Well,
my
we can bring
opinion.
that, we can bring them in anytime throughout the year to take a look at the QuickBooks, it didn't have to be an audit.
Anybody else?
Just-
What do you want to do? Motions?
Well, how about, I'll make a motion that we advertise to use a CPA for 2018 audit, or for the audit.
You want to name them?
Don't we put it out there, or do I have to give a name? Don't we usually, you advertise it?
Well, you're advertising, you use a CPA to do your books, correct?
Right.
They're going to do
Well,
the
the
audit.
reason
Do the
I'm,
audit.
the reason I'm asking is whenever we got the last, Palermo and Kissinger,
Right.
they gave us a schedule that it would go down every year.
Yeah, it shouldn't require
Yeah.
this work.
Shouldn't
Right.
require, so it shouldn't be near the expense.
So I
That's why I said
wouldn't,
6 to
so I
12.
wouldn't wanna go hiring a different one because you're not gonna get your discount.
So if you had a proposal from Palermo Kissinger, and it goes down the second year, so you're making a motion to appoint Palermo Kissinger to do the audit for 2018,
Yes.
subject to a proposal submitted in 2018 for a price, and you insert the price of whatever it is. I don't recall that price.
I don't remember, I just know that it said we had to advertise our intent.
Well,
If you're gonna do it, you have to.
Yeah.
you have a motion
To
to
use them.
intend to utilize Palermo Kissinger to audit the books for 2018.
Okay, now I have a, kind of a legal question. If we advertise, if we're gonna advertise, the intent doesn't mean we have to actually do it, right?
You don't have to, I mean, it doesn't,
You're just leaving the door open.
if you want to go with the 3 auditors, you
Right.
can always say, change your mind, you can flip on it, okay?
And now, is that what the code says, 30 days prior to
The appointment is.
appointment, or is it, I thought there was a date in December, that's from years ago, I was trying to think.
Use my cheat sheet. A notice, that this comes out of the PSAT's cheat sheet.
That would be good.
A notice of the township's intent to appoint a certified public accountant to perform the annual audit in place of elected auditors must be published at least another 30 days before a vote is taken to appoint a CPA. The advertiser should contain the fiscal year to be audited. And that's what I'm saying, you make a motion to appoint, some places, like I said, like they name the accountant for the CPA. Some just don't, just name it, just say appoint the CPA. But you already have a proposal.
Well,
You're not gonna vote on that person. Mr. Shingle's correct. Even though you make a motion to appoint, doesn't mean you have to vote on it. You don't,
the only point I'm trying to make is it's a lot of money, and I'm not sure that, I'm not saying it's not worth it, because it probably is worth it, but it's a lot of money that we don't have. And I'm not, no difference to Dennis, but we're gonna pay him 60 grand this year, during closing. You know, with the kind of, where we're at with funds, I think it's a,
So would it matter if one of us did business with Palermo and Kissinger?
excuse me?
Would it matter if one of us did business with Palermo and Kissinger?
I wouldn't think so.
I don't
Just
think
was
it's-
checking.
No, I don't think it's a conflict of interest. He did business.
Okay.
Do any of you guys recall what that figure was for what
No,
that
I
proposal?
Yeah, if you want, here's what you may want to do. You may want, rather than vote on this tonight,
Okay, fine.
you may want, because I know how these accountants are. You can point them to tomorrow. They won't give you an audit probably till August or September,
Maybe
okay?
they can.
Right.
Because it gets worse and worse as I see it. I mean, I have one place, another community that we don't even have the audit done yet. I mean, and we're heading to the end of the year. So why don't you do this? Why don't you prepare or provide a copy of the Palermo Kissinger proposal that was submitted whenever to each supervisor to take a look at and put that back and leave that on the agenda for next meeting. So you want to table that?
All right,
So you need a motion to table that motion. There was no motion made, am I correct?
no,
So make a motion to table the appointment of CPA and to provide copies of the Palermo Kissinger for next meeting. Okay?
I'm changing it. Motion to table and provide copies to supervisors.
All right. Didn't,
That's
I
my
thought you
motion.
did make a motion.
Well, I was
Motion to-
making, so that's my.
withdraw-
mo-
you
I'm
withdrawing
withdrawing
that
that one, but I'm
motion?
gonna make this one, to
All right,
table it.
make a motion to table,
Table.
okay.
Yes,
Second,
I'll second that.
how do you vote?
I vote yes. Mike?
Yeah.
Kathy?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Ed?
Yeah.
One of the concerns that I have with this is that being that they provided advice and come in and actually physically fix their books, now they're going to audit that.
A CPA cannot audit, if they do certain machinations with your books,
That's what I'm.
they cannot audit your own books. You have to be careful about that, okay?
We give them a check for $1,700 to fix our books.
I know I had this issue someplace else where they would go in, they would
They're going
log
for the
entries. I don't know what it's called, it's, whatever they call it, it's something for account, you're the guy,
That's
you
what I'm
know.
telling you.
You're the guy, you know
Well,
that.
usually each year, your auditors give you entries to make.
They give you suggestions. They actually came in and did work, didn't they? And then they come in,
Yes.
yeah.
They
Well,
can-
see, I know down in East Duncan, we had Guthrie Valves, if they were going on and making the entries into the books, and they realized they couldn't do it, so what you may wanna do also, between now and next meeting, is ask them that, are they in a conflict of interest situation, because
They'll tell you. Yeah, they're up, they're good.
so ask them if they can audit the books when they're making entries.
Okay, because I know, like I said, I've talked with other townships, and they have the same one year after year, and they always make their entries. I just
I
was,
don't know, I don't know, all I can
Okay.
tell you, East Duncan, we had an issue with that, so.
okay.
Okay. That's on the table. Driveway permits, AGL development.
Is that the development up on the McDonald property, is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
On Old National.
Yes.
Mhm.
I move that we grant the approval.
We got all the paperwork, right? Ed checked them out.
Yes.
Did we happen to, how did we make out with the address thing?
The address they provided was different, but the question now is, now that there's 3 driveways, what address does each driveway need an address, but that's gonna be, have to discuss with the landowner.
I was just, it's,
Yeah.
all right.
853 was on the application, and that's already given to.
853 actually, when we first started investigating, belonged to
Yeah.
3 different parcels.
Right. So on the application, is 853 still on the application?
It's on the application, but the 911 system, I think it's 868, somewhere in there.
And I think it's common practice, if you don't have one, you use the closest one,
Mhm.
you know what I mean, so.
The problem is
Yeah.
that the address sits in the middle and the property does like a horseshoe curve around it, so,
Well, there's always a way to drown
yes.
it.
Isn't
You can
that-
do half numbers and A's and B's and all kind of stuff.
What's that? But we do that.
We assign it.
Yeah, we assign it, so shouldn't they be assigned on the drive, like, can't we do
But you
that
get-
on the driveway
You
permit?
get that suggestion from
911,
911
Yes.
on the
Yeah.
assignment of the numbers, yeah.
I think we have a.
You don't, just don't pull it out of the air, you know?
Yes.
That's what I mean.
I think we also have an ordinance about the actual posting of signs and numbers, or houses and numbers.
Yeah,
Numbers
houses and
and
numbers,
numbers.
yes, there is.
But, Kathy's been in contact with,
With 911, yeah.
yeah. I'm sorry I brought it up, I was just curious.
Oh, good.
Okay. So what are we doing here? We got a Doug made a motion
Yeah, I'm
to
moving.
approve their driveway permits. You got a second?
I'll second.
Discussion? How do you vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Mike,
No.
I vote yes, Ed.
Sure. Let them get in and out.
Mike, is there something you had a problem with there?
Yeah, but I'm not, well, I don't want to talk about it tonight, so.
I mean, is there something that can be resolved that? issue
I
we
just,
don't know
I
about?
want to look into it.
Okay.
I'll
I
bring
thought
it.
maybe there was some
So it
issue.
doesn't make, you know.
All right, number 4, purchase a woods mower. I don't know why you'd want to mow the woods.
That's
Okay,
what
I
we
went,
wanted.
was brought to my attention through the road crew that they found a mower for sale that we could use.
Mr. Collins,
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
tell him to go call him.
It would be a good mower. They found, I think they found it on Craigslist. And so I called the guy, had several conversations with him. It's a half a batwing, basically. New one, it's 5 years old. They're about 16.5 new. He was asking $4,000. Steve thought it was a good deal, so I drove up to Fumble, PA on Friday and looked at it. And the mower's in really good shape. I think it'd be a good purchase for the township. I mean, it would not be worth spending 16.5 for a new one, but it would something that we'd use enough to spend $4,000. I had negotiated with the guy and I got him, it's about 80 miles up there. And I negotiated with him for $4,000 delivered.
And what's his name?
James Spiker. They have a mowing business, they mow for the state. They have like 18 of them. But that was the last, he had 4 to get rid of and he bought 4 new ones. The only reason he was getting rid of them was because he told me that the tax guy told him he had to spend some money. He bought 4 new mowers and replaced the 4 oldest ones.
How move did we purchase a used wood mower for that price, for that gentleman?
Out of Act 13.
How about Act 13, and that is the price to be delivered here.
Yes. I told him we would give him, if we agreed upon it, we'd give him the check as of delivery. And he delivered it.
I have a question on the Act 13 thing. I'll second, just so we can discuss it. Do we still need to spend, we just put a bunch of money in liquid fuels? Do we want to,
Yeah, we saw.
yeah. Do we want to take it out of there?
There's requirements.
I don't know whether
Spend
it
on
meets the
liquid
specs.
fuels.
You can't do that, I don't think.
We'd have to ask.
Well, I know you
Stephanie.
can buy equipment to, yeah.
It would be road maintenance, wouldn't it?
But there's a section within the liquid fuels for purchasing equipment. I don't know what that, I know there's for new and.
So your capital would be basically Doug's motion
If you can't buy it from the
with all the appropriate account.
Yeah,
That's his motion. And that's what you're saying.
well, yeah, to be out. Check see if it's liquid fuels is a possibility, if not, buy it on Act 13.
That's,
I want us to counts.
Okay.
So I changed it,
Yeah,
purchase out of,
You'd
out
also,
of liquid fuels, if not approved, then Act 13.
correct.
yes.
Read it.
Motion to purchase the Woods mower delivered from James Spiker out of liquid fuels, if not approved, pay for it out of Act 13, $4,000 delivered.
I'll second.
Does that give us 2 now?
We need it? Yeah, we,
Does that give us 2, like, will that give us 2 types of mowers, or?
Well, we had a lot of trouble this summer with
the boom mower.
a couple of the mowers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That was my
I think
question.
it would be a very good addition. It's something you could do one pass and get the ditch and the bank at the same time.
yeah, his comment to me was, the boom mower, you average about 1 mile per hour mowing. He says you can mow 4 to 5 miles an hour with this. And, you know, it makes a lot of, you do the trim pass sometimes, if you have some time. You can get an extra mowing in a lot of time.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody else? How do you vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Ed,
Yep.
yes, Mike,
Yep.
Eddie, or Kathy.
Yes.
Authorize Kathy Croft as check signer for ADS Co-op.
I don't know if we had to or not, so I put on the agenda, but I will make a motion to approve Kathy Croft as a check signer for the co-op. You have to do that?
I think you should.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Questions, comments, discussion? How do you vote?
I vote yes. Mike?
Yes.
Kathy?
I assume I have to abstain,
Does she
I
have to
don't know.
abstain?
Are you gonna get any benefit out of it?
No,
No, so it's just that you
then
can
yes.
vote.
Doug?
Yes.
Eddie?
Sure. Junkyard permit.
McAdoo?
McAdoo's.
Move we approve McAdoo's. Concurrent
Second that.
Questions, comments, discussion? How do you vote?
Doug?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
I vote yes. Kathy?
Yes.
Ed?
Yep. We already dealt with the Hogue and Clovis Road, right?
Yeah.
Act 172 ordinance.
Megan, today.
I just gave it to everybody
I
today.
move that we table this, supply a copy to Chief Graham to review, and back later next meeting.
Second.
Yeah, I think, the board's gonna have some decisions to make as to.
Say again?
The board is gonna have some decisions to make as to years of service, levels of involvement,
Okay.
that you have to name each one of them.
We have a sample ordinance.
Yes, I have that now,
Okay.
so
Okay.
I will go back and look at what's realistic and make
Okay.
a recommendation to the board.
Okay.
Do you want to maybe have a meeting before the next,
That would be good.
we can set something up? That'd be all right. Informational meeting?
Have some discussion with Blaisville as well.
I can.
It doesn't mean it's gonna affect them.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That's what I said, maybe we ought to put something together. If you want to do that, Eric, then
I can.
set that up and a couple of us will come.
Yes.
Got a motion to table.
I'll second that.
Kathy, are you?
Oh, sorry.
How do you vote?
Didn't hear you.
Doug?
Yes.
Kathy?
As well, yeah. Yes.
For the
Yeah.
audience, they might not know, this act allows fire companies
Good.
to firemen, volunteer firemen to get a tax credit on their local tax, earned income tax or whatever. Roll stays well?
Up to 20%.
Okay, but then anyhow, up to a certain limitation, but it encourages, gives some benefit to volunteers.
Volunteer, yeah, benefit. I think it's a good,
We vote.
I vote, is it me? Yes.
I'm sorry for
It's
interrupting.
okay.
Yeah.
I got 5 yeses.
Do we have need of executive session?
Well, hold on, we need a clamp for the Jersey barrier, pick up the Jersey barriers.
Cost.
Cost would be probably $3,500 to buy one. We can probably rent one right now if we don't have them, I think.
Well, another thing is, what do they cost to rent?
Well, that's the thing.
We're gonna need one
We
for the
need,
next few
we
years.
need to have one.
Yes, we do. It should be less than $4,000.
Must have got one laying out there, what? They can pick up a Jersey barrier.
Got a fork? Yeah. Call forks, yeah. I knew he was gonna say that.
Are there any used ones out there, Mike?
they're tough to find.
Generally, when you find a used barrier clamp, it's
I know,
more
I
out.
was gonna say, I don't know that I
Yeah,
would trust the
they're
used
not-
one.
Yeah, the dangerous.
And they cost almost as much to rebuild as
Right,
they do to buy a new.
right. We'll never wear one out.
I hope not.
Unless we have winters like last winter.
I hope not. But
All right.
it's something we need.
I make,
$4,000, we don't have to bid it, right?
In fact, they just raised, I believe they raised the new rates up, was it 11,200?
So, do you wanna make a motion? Somebody wanna make a
I'll
motion?
make a motion that we purchase,
The clamp not to exceed $5,000
yeah, not to exceed $5,000.
to be purchased out of what account? Act 13? Or if,
If we can,
if you can't, rather than,
if it's an approvable item.
I don't know.
I'd say, yeah, because it's road.
See, I don't
I-
know,
we'll make sure.
I would call it an emergency if you're under Act 13, but. Because if you need that many Jersey barriers picked up, it's an emergency.
Alright, we got a motion. Somebody wanna second it?
I'll second. But I like cheaper than that, if you like cheaper.
Yes.
We'll find cheaper.
It should be around $3,500.
Okay, we got a motion to buy a generic clamp.
No.
From Acme.
say.
All right.
I think I can build you one for 25.
How do you vote?
Mike,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Guaranteed to hook up to your
Yes.
machine.
I vote yes. Ed.
Yeah. Okay,
Hey, question. What about, I mean,
answers cost money.
okay, I'm trying to save money, so we'll trade it. What about having like McGon machine make one? You
Nah.
don't have anything to?
They wouldn't want to anyway for the liability.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
they've gotta be stamped,
They gotta be-
tested.
UL,
I was gonna ask you, is that something we have to get inspected every so often?
UL certified and all that.
I don't know about that. I mean, it's not an overhead, so I wouldn't say.
Yeah, but you would be picking,
Well, you're gonna pick 9,000 pounds with it.
right?
Do they want to donate one to the?
I don't know, I'd have to call them. We had to get them certified every, I think it's every 5 years.
That's what I was gonna say,
He said Atlas got about 10 of them laying there. He can talk to them about donating one. You think they'd be,
Oh, you can, you call them, more than see.
Talk to them.
there you go.
We still have the other option on the board if we can't get one.
That's less than 5,000, right?
Yes,
That still falls under the motion.
Yeah.
Still falls under the motion.
that'd be
so.
awesome.
All right.
That'd be a nice Christmas present.
Yeah.
Got a motion
Hold
for
on,
executive
wait,
session.
somebody back here.
What?
I have a question. Back to the CPA audit.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Is that who would do the audit of my stuff, or are the township auditors doing that? And what's the process? Probably directed to you.
Who audited you this year?
I couldn't tell you.
Did you
Well, I
get
think
any?
the township
I thought he
auditors
was gonna ask
audited
you who are
Tammy
you.
Molson. I wasn't
Okay, you
in,
weren't, yeah.
I wasn't a part of that at all.
But she wasn't the tax collector when it was audited, so they should have worked with you.
Well, the way the tax law is whoever finishes up the year, they have to finish out the audit. So it doesn't go on the new collector for that.
Yeah, we audited Tammy last
Did
year.
you?
Yeah.
Okay.
The elected auditors, right?
Yeah, Tammy Olson, yeah.
I think Doug.
So what was your question?
The question is, when you guys are talking about CPA audit, is that including the audit from me or no?
To be determined, I have no
Okay.
idea. We tabled